Hi guys, welcome back to the Daily Dreamer. Boy, did I have a dream, and I can't wait to share this one. So I'm just gonna jump right in. Okay, so I wake up and I'm in a place of business, and the feeling I got is it's the last time I'm going to be here. So there's a sense of sadness going on. There's other people, there's other entities around with me, and they're packing up. We were told to pack our items, make sure that we got everything that belonged to us, and leave at the end of the shift time, if there is ever such a thing in dream state. However, so we continue packing. I remember a friend coming to me and saying, "Can you help me come carry this?" We went down these stairs, and they were windy stairs. I mean, they seemed to go forever. We get all the way at the bottom, and I see this dilapidated wood coffin. And I was like, "What on earth do you want with this?" And he's like, "I want this. Can you help me carry it? It's just something I would like to hold on to." Well, I was like, "Ooh, all the way up these stairs?" And he's like, "Well, it doesn't have to be that way." So I pick up the coffin, of course, the tiny end of it, because it was shaped like one of those old ones where it tapered. So I pick up the lighter end, and I just manifested us being at the top of the stairs. He takes it and he leaves, right? So the bell rings eventually, and everyone else is getting their items and they're all leaving. Well, on the way out, I see a box that was overlooked, and I start going through it. And I was like, "Ooh, there's some things in here that I want." So I start going through them. Someone else comes by, they see a couple items that they want, they take it and they leave. I happen to look up at the clock, and the clock says two different times. The big hands were on 5:04, and there was a little clock inside that one and said 4:23. So, okay, which I know means something, but I'll dig into that later. Anyways, continuing on. So I make note of the time, and as I go to leave, there's an entity standing outside, and he says, "Here you go. Wear this proudly." And I look, and I was like, "It's a necklace. It's a maze." And he's like, "It's not a maze. Look closer." And I was like, "Okay." So I took it because I had like all these items, and I went to go put it in my box. And as I was leaving, he said, "You wear it proudly. This is showing you that you had the courage to go in there and face your fears." Well, I didn't have any fears when I was in the place. So I was a little bit confused. And then he tells me, but handle it very delicately. And I was like, "Why is that?" Now I'm kind of paranoid, and I'm definitely making it a point to set it down gently. And he says, "Because it'll show the strength that you had in facing those fears." Nonetheless, so that was the end of the dream. I wake up, whisk back to consciousness. So I get up and I'm thinking, all right, well, if it wasn't a maze, what was it? Well, I draw the symbol, and I asked my husband. He says, "That's not a maze." And I was like, "Well, what is it?" He said, "It's a labyrinth." Two different things. So, okay, so I go, what happens? I go into my meditative state, and I get all these lovely answers that could possibly give me a deeper meaning to the dreams. And what comes up for me? Of course, mazes and labyrinths, two totally different things. I found out that mazes, what they were telling me, were for the mind. They're meant for the analytical, logical mind to keep distracted, because you get to make choices and decisions to try to find your way through the maze that may or may not have an opening at the end, right? Well, labyrinths apparently are not for the mind. Labyrinths are more for the soul, they said. And with a labyrinth, with the fact that it's always winding, it's actually meant for us to go inside and get lost in, right? Well, what is that labyrinth? Well, they told me, take a look. It's obviously my soul, my inner self, that I had the courage to go in there and face that. But as I was going in and becoming lost, because sometimes in the exploring yourself, you do get lost. And we know that's okay, but my goodness gracious, will you ever reach the center? Well, of course you do, because it will always lead there. And it always has a way back out too. Once you're able to make your way back out, which is the feeling that I had, we were on our way out, we were packing up. You get to the entity who says, "Wear this proudly." And in understanding what they were trying to talk about with mazes versus labyrinths, it was showing me that I had made it through the navigation of myself. You can do this too. And how, you ask? Of course, 5 minutes a day. If you're able to get to 20 minutes a day, boy, I'll take that one. But what they were telling me was, when you come to a labyrinth, which is yourself, then you have to sit with yourself. Of course, there's going to be turns, twists, everywhere to go. There's always choices. There's always dangers. But You also have dangers in life too, do we not? Each and every day we wake up, we face those dangers, and we don't think about it. We just go in and we do it. Well, that's what they're telling you, folks. It's time for you to go ahead and take a moment, take an adventure to a labyrinth, your soul, your center, and face the danger there too. Because once you get past the danger, then you're able to actually get through the madness to be able to see the light. Then you can come back out while understanding you have a better awareness of yourself. Folks, do you want to live in a maze or do you want to live in a labyrinth? They say that right now there is a place called, and I did not know this, a labyrinth of enlightenment, which is so cool. They say we have yet to be initiated into a soul-centric perspective because we're too caught up in the ego-centric perspective, the maze of life. Well, the place that they call the labyrinth of enlightenment, it goes beyond that cocoon that we're all in. It goes beyond the dark night of your soul, beyond the shadows, beyond the process of initiations, and beyond the maddening thresholds. Yes, here they say the journey is the goal. Here, a sense of humor, creativity, imagination. Those are the strategy that the adventurer, which is you, use as leverage. Ironically, to bring it back to your own personalized, individuated ego. This life, this adventure, it's who you are. Bring it out. It's time. The world needs to see it. Here, the continued search for your most authentic self is the objective. They say, but it's not an objective that has to be met. It is not required. It's not a goal that has to be achieved. It's an adventure to be had in the moment. It's a journey to be experienced. They say that it is a process of trial and error that we are going to go through, filled with ups and downs and being mostly wrong, but maybe sometimes right. Most of all, they say, it is about being okay with getting lost in the existential crisis of not knowing who we are or what the universe is. Ironically, they say that there's actually no better way of finding your most authentic self than by getting lost. So if you can manage to transform getting lost into meditation, then you are learning to navigate the labyrinth of your soul, folks. When we are in a state of being lost, they say, we discover solitude. Henry David Thoreau said, I never found a companion that was so companionable as solitude. They said, Buddha said, there are two mistakes that one can make along the road of truth. Not going all the way and not starting. We've already started, they say, by surviving the cocoon, the dark, the night, the overcoming of the drowsiness of the ego mind and what it's done for us by keeping us distracted. We have already started the process. So folks, since we've already started, why not just go ahead and go through it? We're already here. Let's take a moment. When we make decisions to drop what we know, and we decide to go into that labyrinth of our mind to get the clear truth, to get to the center, they say understanding that now that we are here, we only have to go all the way now. And that means sometimes getting lost. That means sometimes becoming confused. And you will. You might become overwhelmed. You might become full of questions. But the goal is to be in a constant state of awe. So folks, I don't know. What do you prefer? Mazes or labyrinths? Well, until next time, folks, sweet dreams and many blessings to you.